Anyway, we were still engaging even though we were off, right? And so it was in this time where there was a lineup of us. We was passing each other on the stairway in and out.
No, y'all wasn't.
We listen.
No, y'all was not passing
you think this is a game?
You were not passing each other on the stairway. No, y'all was.
We were passing each other on the stairway. Like, this is my shift from this time to this time. So, you know, I was a willing participant in that, and this is like, I can laugh about it now, but it's really sad, you know, to like, what space do you have to be in to accept that? And so I dealt with it already, so I can laugh about it now, and it's funny. That's what
healing looks like. Healing, right? You look back at your old self and laugh.
I'm just like, what? Yeah. You know, but yeah, no, seriously. It was, you know, I'm coming over at this time. I know such and such is going to be rolling through about, you know, an hour and a half later. Yeah. And sometimes we went a little bit longer. So literally passing each other on the stairs, like out the door. All right, have fun, you know, your shift, you know, and literally. And so there was a lot of people involved at that time. We weren't in a relationship. So all the people that like committed relationships. So I was just on the rotation at the time, and I ended up getting pregnant with our first child. And it was in that I was like, okay, Danae, you got to figure out what you're doing with your life. You are whole pregnant, and you can't get rid of this child, because I had already had 3 before, and the Lord had already dealt with me. And I was like, Lord, if you save me from this, I'm not going to ever do this again. Got pregnant. I was like, I can't go back on my word, Lord. I don't want you to kill me. Yeah. You know, but so I started, okay, I got to figure out what I'm doing with my life. And then I started getting a little bit more serious. Like, what are we doing? He was still doing, you know, stuff with other girls. I knew about it. So I did still participate in some sexual activity and all that, knowing that he was with other girls. I was a willing participant.
Okay. So I thought this whole situation with Rivah Jaxn and Derrick Jaxn was like signed, sealed, delivered. You know, everybody's moving forward. The relationship was over, yada, yada, yada. And there was not going to be much more to the conversation. However, Rivah has found the ability to add so much more context to the story, right? Let me first start off by saying, in this conversation that I'm having, I am using this as a teachable moment. I am not the type of woman that would laugh at another woman's pain or heartache, okay? Because as a woman, especially, you know, women with experience, we've all been there. Okay, make foolish decisions, put yourself in a foolish situation, and but I have to be honest, right? I have to be honest, because, you know, based on just the fact that Derrick has been to the forefront talking to women and stuff like that, which we're definitely going to get into in this conversation, but, you know, everybody was already kind of like, girl, you did the best you can, right? Like, you did your best. He out here doing this. He's not, the men that he's talking about on his platform is actually himself. You know, people had already seen that, but now when she enters this entire, like retrospective thought process from way back then till now, and she brings it to the forefront, now it's adding a lot more context to the story that we did not have. There are women who unknowingly get themselves into situations with men, and unknowingly get their heart broken because, you know, they brought their best self, they were doing their best, and, you know, unexpectedly they had to experience things within a relationship with a representative of a person who was promising to be one thing and ended up being a different thing, right? So there are indeed women out there who get into relationships that are, you know, they're with men, and the man is presenting himself as one thing, and then things change. Okay. We know that it's the same thing with men, with women as well. Right. However, one thing that a lot of women don't like to talk about is the fact that there are women who knowingly get into situations with men, and when he proves himself to be the same person that you met him as, then you you feel heartbroken, you vomiting, you throwing yourself on the floor, acting like you don't have any sense. And if we're being really honest, you knew who he was, but you lied to yourself. You hid behind your own delusion to make yourself feel as though, he'll change for me. I'll be the one he'll do right by. I'll be the one that he prioritizes. I'll be the one that can fix him. It's delusion. Delusions of grandeur, as they call it. Because you inflate yourself to be this person who has the ability to, change or lead or guide or direct somebody in the quote unquote right path because of whoever you think you are or you feel to be, or because somehow you feel like you're above other women who were in the rotation as well, when that's not true. We have to be honest. Women inflict pain upon themselves in this way on a daily basis. By pretending the relationship is something that it's not. By fantasizing about a certain ideology of what the relationship would be if he was a certain type of man with a certain type of mentality. And then when they get into the relationship, they're only dealing in the fairy tale. They're not in the reality. And then when he's not changed, he's the same person. He's only given you whatever you thought was going to be comfortable for you. But he's the same person with the same kind of ways that he's always had. That's the same person that you met. And then you have the audacity to look shocked. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did this to me. You mean what he's been doing to you? You mean being the same person that he's always been? He's consistent. At least we know he don't got no problem with consistency. She made a point, right, in this conversation. And what I did was I saw this clip and I also tried to look at the original interview as well. I didn't sit down and watch the whole thing directly. I'm just going to be real with you guys. I kind of sped through it a little bit just to make sure that this was not a clipping of a conversation, that this was an actual conversation. And it is. There's no clips in this. This is a thorough conversation between the two of them. And to hear, right, that this person that she stood beside and stood behind, the whole basis of their relationship, their marriage, is based on the fact that she was the one that got pregnant. It's not because she was the most special person in rotation. It's not because she was the prettiest person in rotation. It was because now she had something. She had some kind of leverage in the situation. And if you actually listen to the interview, when she spoke to, she didn't even speak to him about it. She spoke to his mother about it. So I'm not sure of their background. They sound like, even though he was out there in college and doing his thing, it sounds like he came from a certain type of background, people who have certain kinds of standards. And his mother, thinking that she's doing the right thing, after she hears about a child, oh, well, you're not going to be out here just having babies. You better marry this girl. You better do the right thing. You better do right by her. You better fix this. And so through coaching, that's what he did. That's what he did. This is why it's important for men to stand on their own 2 feet. This is why being led by a woman, whether it's your girl, a mama, a auntie, as a man, you have to hone in on your own strong leadership skills so that nobody can't talk you into something that's inauthentic to yourself. However, he was talked into the relationship. And in the interview, she says that as they were getting married, she was like, yes, I won. Again, that fairy tale was so ignited within her that she saw the detriment of the situation. She knew that she was one of many. She knew what traits he had because he had the same traits for over 9 years. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. That's why I said one thing he don't have a problem with is inconsistency. Okay, he was consistently the same person, have people in rotation. You know what it is between me and you. What we got don't gotta be explained. He was that kind of guy with her. Because she won, she thought that all of a sudden the traits that he had been displaying were just gonna jump out the window. It don't work like that. Them traits that he had been displaying was in his pocket. Ready to come out full force if ever provoked. If ever the opportunity arises. And women have to understand this. There's a lot of people who are upset with Derrick because, he loves women. I'm not upset with him over that. Okay? He is a man. He loves women. He obviously loves them in 2s and 3s. Okay? My personal opinion on this situation, and the problem from what I see it, is lying, right? Hiding behind who you truly are. Hiding behind your truth to further relationships or to get things out of people. And the reason why I say that is because women will sit down, right? And if it was before any of the scandals came out, if it was before anything came forward, they will argue you down that Derrick is the man with the plan. Derrick is the one that we should be looking towards, and Kevin is the one that we need to just, X him out. He's terrible. He's, has a horrible way of thinking. Look how he talked to us. Derrick is our prize. We need to support Derrick. Let's make sure Derrick, has a platform to grow further and further because he has our best interests at heart. This is how women get tricked, bamboozled, hoodwinked all the time in real life, not just on the internet, in real life. Because women will look at the guy that's coming as, oh, baby, buying flowers every day, showering her with gifts. They will look at the things that somebody does and say, oh my God, he's an amazing guy. It's so easy for women to be conquered, especially with the way that their mind calculates, saying, oh, he bought me roses. Oh, he did this for me. Oh, he did that for me. He's perfect. He's amazing. And then they'll look at the man who is coming to them honestly, straight up, truthfully, and they look at him like he's the one that's doing the wrong. They would rather be comforted in lies than uncomfortable with the truth. Let me know the truth. I can respect the truth. A lot of women, they endure pain because they getting finessed by their own doing. You'll have a nice guy come to you and say, hey, I really would love to take you out or whatever. Like an honest man, I would love to take you out. I'm a little busy this week. Maybe we can go this weekend. And, I would love to have the opportunity, blah, 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 blah. And she'll be like, oh, no, I need to be a priority. Then you'll have a guy that come with a whole bunch of roses. Hey, baby, I want to take you out. Da, 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 da. And they're like, oh, my God, he's so into me. Is he? Or is that an avenue? A lot of women look at the gimmicks, right? They look at the things that stroke their own ego. You see, women who are not fooled easily are women who are not sitting here waiting for their egos to be stroked. They're looking at the real person. They're observant of you. The only way to be observant is to get outside of your whole inflated mindset of, I'm the prize. If a man will walk up to a woman and tell her, well, baby, you the prize. You don't got to bring nothing to the table. You the table. And they'll be like, oh, my God, he is the best choice. Where I'm over here like, oh, really? How many people have you said that to today? Like, be real. Be honest. If a lot more people lived within honesty and weren't looking at, the other people and how other people would think and how other people would feel, a lot of women would not be in certain situations that they literally place themselves in. Let me break that down. Women get into relationships with a guy that they know is a player. They know they're one of many. They try to bamboozle or finesse their own way into monogamy because of society. But you've been down for him having multiple. You've been down being in the rotation. But now that you feel like you have leverage over the other women around you, now you want to be put on a pedestal. Because you feel like you deserve that. But if society was different, you would just continue the rotation. You would stay in it because just a piece of him would have been good enough for you. Let's be real. Another thing I want to say, right? A lot of women are watching these conversations and they're saying, oh, she's so strong, or, oh, I can't believe this, or, oh, I can't believe that. And the thing is, she endured publicly, correct? She's obviously grown through her train of thought. That's why she's calling herself a willing participant, because she understands that she's not going to victimize herself in this situation, correct? But a lot of women are looking in this situation. And yes, I agree. The focal point should be on Derrick because of what he has been doing when it comes to other women outwardly. He has been on platforms, and basically the men that he's telling women to stay away from, the reason why he knows all the intricate details is because it's him. I'm aware of that. However, women have to be able to understand their part to play in situations. Women have to be able to understand that you need to be accountable for your own actions. You cannot be accountable for what somebody else do. You can't worry about what somebody else got going on. You have to be accountable for the participating factor that you bring to these situations. Knowingly. You knowingly walk hand in hand into a situation and then try to make it seem like, I can't believe this happened to me. How not? It's been happening to you for 9 years. What's different? Because you married? Did he ask you on his own merit? Did he say, I'm deciding I'm not going to act in this manner, even though I've been acting in this manner for all this time? I decided I'm going to put this aside to be this type of person in this relationship. Did he say that? I could bet he didn't. I could bet he didn't. We have to start being honest. Honest with ourselves. We can't be sitting here, fantasizing over something, creating this whole relationship in our mind that's not really what it is, glorifying situations. We have to be real. Because the only way that you're going to attract authenticity is to be in the present, is to be in reality. You can't attract somebody that's going to be real and authentic with you if you're living in the clouds, because people can see that. People who are logical are going to see you living in the clouds. Let's be honest. They're going to be able to, they're looking right at you like, okay, what'd you just say? Oh, okay. I think her speaking about this, again, is her way of also telling her exact side of the story. It's also her showing other women probably what not to do. She feels like maybe exposing this stuff is going to be a teaching lesson to other women so that they can actually thoroughly vet and examine things. However, I do feel like it's coming across that, yes, people are pointing the blame, but nobody is focusing on all of these points that she's saying and how crucial it is to understand what you doing. A man got a man has 10, 12 women in rotation, and you one of them, but you want a committed relationship with this man. So the reality is that you don't mind sharing this person. But once you get a little leverage, then your mind changes. So he hasn't changed, but you have. Because if it's something that you don't want to do, you'll remove yourself from the situation and say, I'm not putting myself in this situation because I value myself to be higher than this. I want somebody who wants the same kind of relationship that I have. I want somebody, if I want one person, I want him to want one person too. Because there's many men out there who will vocally say to you that they do not want more than one woman. They are A-okay with just having one woman. But y'all be saying you want a man that only wants you, but you get with the man that everybody want. A lot of women see a man that 5-6 women like, and all of a sudden they like him. And then the man who's giving you his undivided attention, you be calling him annoying, boring, this, that. Oh, he always all up on me. Y'all be friend zoning him. So truth be told, a lot of you want to share. A lot of you are willing to share, but you just want to be at the top. You don't mind sharing, but you want to be at the top seat. You don't want nobody above you. That's your problem. If we're being honest about it. A lot of women can't see that. You have to understand the type of woman you are. You have to understand what you are willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept, and stand on that. You have to. Because inflicting pain on yourself don't make no sense. Okay? That's the only way I know how to say it. It don't make any sense. You be going through all types of stuff, be on the brink of going to the hospital. All because you're choosing to pick a scenario, or you're choosing to glorify a situation. That's not what it is. I would love to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.